Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Indie Zone. My name is Kathy. Ever since we shared the news with you that there has been a case opened up in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania seeking to domesticate trial subpoenas for lay witnesses in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, there has been a lot of discussion, questions, inquiries, speculations, opinions, asking what possibly could these 5 people have in the way of evidence, direct, circumstantial, that would induce the defense to seek to have them appear at the forthcoming trial in the matter styled as Idaho versus Kohberger. The truth of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, we just don't know. What we can do is look at what Judge Stephen J. Hippler signed in his notarized filing, seeking to persuade the Pennsylvania court to compel these 5 out-of-state witnesses to appear at the forthcoming trial. In each one of the 5 packets, there is a similar type of filing as we see here. This is a certificate pursuant to Idaho Code 193005, and then in parentheses 42 PA CSA section 5963. So we see the Idaho statute and then the Pennsylvania statute. This document states, pursuant to Idaho Code 193005, and then in parentheses 42 PA CSA section 5963, end of parentheses, and after considering the motion of the defendant and the affidavit of Elisa Massoth, the District Court of the 4th Judicial District of the state of Idaho, in and for the county of Ada, being otherwise fully advised, hereby certifies as follows. 1. The 4th District Court in Ada County is constitutionally and statutorily a court of record in the state of Idaho. 2. There is a criminal proceeding pending before the court at case number CR01 2431665. That is, of course, ladies and gentlemen, a case number you're very familiar with. That's the Ada County case number for the capital case styled as Idaho versus Kohberger. Paragraph 3 states, the defendant in this case is charged with 4 counts of unaliving in the first degree and 1 count of burglary under Idaho law that is punishable, and we see that this is a capital case. Paragraph 4, I am the judge, assigned to preside over the trial scheduled to begin on August 11th, 2025 at 8:30 a.m. through November 7th, 2025. If we refer back to Judge Hippler's October 9th, 2024 pre-trial and trial order, we see indeed that that is when the case is scheduled for. Then in paragraph 5, Brandon, and we've redacted his last name for privacy, a person within the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania is a material witness in this case for the defendant. Paragraph 6, for the reasons stated in the affidavit of Elisa Massoth, the presence of Brandon is required at the Ada County Courthouse in Boise, Idaho. Now, unfortunately, the affidavit of Ms. Massoff is not produced here, and it was not made public record in the Idaho versus Kohberger case. So it appears that within that affidavit may be the details that many of us are wondering why this witness is, as Judge Stephen J. Hippler is saying here, a material witness in the case. Paragraph 7. Brandon's presence is required for 2 days. Paragraph 8. Under the laws of the state of Idaho, if Brandon comes into this state in obedience of a summons requiring his presence at this trial, he will not be subject to arrest or service of any process related to matters that arose before he entered the state under the summons. So this is language that we see time and time again with the domestication of certain summonses. Paragraph 9. This certificate is made for the express purpose of being presented to a judge of a court of record in the state of Pennsylvania in support of an order to compel the attendance of Brandon at the time and place for the reasons stated above. Dated this 13th day of March 2025, Stephen Hippler, District Court Judge, and then we see the notarization of Judge Hippler's signature by the Deputy Clerk there with the seal of the 4th Judicial District. Now, shortly after this time came the deadline for both sides in April to produce their lay witness lists under seal, unfortunately. So the public does not know who, other than the information that we can glean through out-of-state domestication court proceedings that are opened up, who else and who entirely is the state calling at trial as lay witnesses, is the defense calling at trial as lay witnesses. You can review these documents by plugging into any search engine of your choice. Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus Kohberger, and you will be able to pull up the complete packets to research them and to read. These are public records. They're online for you to be able to do so. This will now conclude this episode of the Indie Zone. If you have any comments, if you have any feedback, everything is appreciated. Thank you. Please leave it here. Thank you for joining us today.